Hello, this is Ricardo. I'm from Edu2Grow, and we are creating this video for our partners who want to request their mobilities to already have accreditation. And to help you go through that process in these last few days that you have, we created this video to show you how to do it a step-by-step situation. So as you can see here, we have the page to access the project applications. You select the Erasmus Plus opportunity section, and it should load you to this page, which sometimes, as you can see, it bugs up. But it should show like this. After you go into this, you go and you search for, not for the accreditation, that one's still ongoing, but for accredited projects. In most cases, you will be school. Here is vet. Here is adult education, but let's go with school. We have already an ongoing draft going on here, so we will work with that. So when you load this window from there, you will have access to this situation. You will place your OID here, and it will immediately recognize your accredited institution. If it doesn't show up, there is a problem with the system, and you should contact your national agency as quickly as possible for them to put the information there. But it should. Of all the things, this is not something that works. Then you go to the second part, participating organizations. Okay, so first you have this part, which is your main organization. Usually it will be just your school. And here you can add it information. The information that you can add it here is quite simple. It's just basically the name of the legal representative that will be in this project. Okay. After you do this, if you want or not, you can then go back here, the arrow to go back, and it'll take you back here. And this is all. If you are a consortium, you will have to put in the OID of every single school. It should already be in the system, but in case it isn't, you can add them manually, each one of them. This is a very big consortium that is working with us right now. And after you check all this, probably you won't have to even to do anything. You go to the section where it says Erasmus Plan. In the Erasmus Plan section, you won't have to do anything. Everything here is basically information taken from the project you applied with. So it should be okay. You can just take a read, check what you put in, and that's it. Then we go to activities. Simple. And in activities, then is when you are going to request for the mobilities. Here in the mobilities, you will put the number of participants. You will have these things where you'll have the number of participants. You will have the total duration of mobilities in days. Here it says 11 because you have to remember that when you put the mobilities have to count with the training days, but also the travel days. So these are 11 days for workshops of 9 days, and 1 day to travel in, 1 day to travel out. Okay. So you will have to always be mindful of that. Remember that the total duration in days has to be for all participants. So if you have 35 participants, you have to put in 300 and something because it's 35 participants times 11. Before we had some problems where people would just put the duration for one person and then they would not have the funding they needed. So be very careful with this number here on the second part. And here is accompanying persons, usually kept at a 0 because teachers usually don't need people to babysit them. This is an invitation for courses and training, which is we do. Here you also have the option to invite experts, which is another thing that we can help you with. Again, the same rule, number of people that you want, in this case would be the number of experts, and how long do you want them to be present, plus the days for them to travel in and out. And that's it. You apply for this. It will do the math on its own. Then down here, you will have then again the same number of participants, but in this case, you can add some more information on who they are and what needs they have. So, for example, in this case, you have fewer opportunities. Teachers usually are not in this category. Participants in blended mobility activities. For us, we consider all of them. And number of people using sustainable means of transport, meaning green travel. This usually means if you are not going by plane to your training. We usually put around 10 because we do a lot of trainings and people can do a training in like the country next door and use this option. After you do this, the request will be indicated. You don't need to worry about distance bands or anything in this part. It's no longer necessary. Here you can add extra costs. These extra costs are usually zero unless you have some mobilities with people with special needs, for example, and you might need to put some extra costs for them. Or if you have people going to a place where they might need a visa, for example. There are not a lot of cases for this, but it might happen. And so in this case, you would have to go here, add the cost item, and you'll have to explain here exactly the cost and why, and then put more or less an exclamation to see if they approve. You have a certain types for travel, for financial guarantee, for visa, like I said, or inclusion support in case you do have participants with fewer opportunities or with some sort of disabilities. And then you can choose in which setting it will be placed. I'm not going to put this information. There's a button to stop it. So delete, not needed. After you have done all this, you will have to download the Declaration of Honor, which will basically telling them that it matched, you are actually doing this request. You download it, the person responsible signs it, and then you upload it back here. And finally, you go to the checklist, check if everything is okay. On this side here, on the left side, you can then see, let me move this up a bit. You can then see if everything is okay, and if everything is green, and you have uploaded the files, which we haven't at this point, you will have an option to just submit in this button here. It will not be blacked out. That's it. That's all you need to do to request your money for your mobility actions in your accreditation. I hope this helped. Again, my name is Ricardo. I come from Edu to Grow. I wish you a good time, and I wish you great experiences in your learning activities. Bye bye.